And I just want to say thank you to Rhonda for agreeing to do this. Rhonda is a member of our alumni board, actually, and has been on the board for a couple of years now, and is a certified Pilates instructor and yoga teacher at several locations here in Michigan. And so really is, as I began to think about as we're experiencing this COVID-19 pandemic and the need to stay home and kind of be away, and the challenges as that creates for our health, as well as for a lot of us, kind of our anxiety levels and our sense of well-being, that this would be a perfect opportunity to ask Rhonda to maybe introduce us to the notions of yoga, and she gratefully agreed to do that. So I'm really pleased to have Ronda Guimond on with us, class of '96, and I'm going to turn it over to Rhonda and just take a back seat here and listen to her instruction. And I'm going to stop this share so that she is featured as on the video feed. Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. We'll start off with just a little bit of overall introduction of the benefits of yoga. Not too much time here, so we can get moving. We'll start with the focus on the breath. Once we get onto our mat, if you don't have a mat, then you can always use a blanket or just use the floor. And then we'll move into some poses or postures. And then lastly, we'll end with a little bit of guided relaxation, sometimes the favorite part of yoga. But there are certainly several benefits to yoga, from the physical and the mental component to maybe other areas of our life as well. And yoga is meant to be ease with effort, sort of that balance, but also we hear that a lot in yoga, but also harmony. So at this time right now, there's a lot of challenges. We're likely doing things in places that we're usually not, where we spend most of our day. And so we need to find that a little bit of harmony between the two, between what we need and the fuel that we need, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, and then also when we have to stay challenged. And the challenges sometimes are forced, like they are right now, and sometimes we can seek out those challenges just so we can continue to grow in our life. And I find yoga to be able to do that for me. Yoga is not just about the poses, and yes, we'll go through movement today, but it is about breath and about maintaining some calmness with your breath so that then your minds can calm a little bit, so that our nervous system can calm. And when our nervous system calms, then we're not opposed to being involved in some of those challenges. So today we'll move through the physical component, the postures. Our postures help to improve our bone density. They can help prevent fractures because of working on our stability and our agility. And then also the mental balance, to be present and be focused. And our postures also help to lower our levels of stress hormone. And, I'm not a medical doctor. I can't pretend to talk all of that. But what we do know is when we feel less stress, then things start to break down in a positive way. Chronically elevated issues may not come up. And that is just from some movement, from the postures. The breath is a benefit to practicing the physical component of yoga, simply because it does help. It helps with our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system. So when we exhale, we release some of that nervousness. It moves us towards rest. When we inhale, it brings in some energy, some activity maybe, and that can help us move along into the day. And you don't have to be standing in a balancing pose and working on your breath. You can simply be as you are right now, and take a deep breath and release the breath out. And maybe do that 5 more times. Maybe a lot of breaths are taken right now, and very deep breaths are taken right now. But when you return back to what would be more of your routine at the office or in school, then maybe those deep breaths can come in, and you'll find it just a little bit easier to pause for 3 or 5 breaths. And then finally, our last component, just that I'll talk about today and incorporate into our movements, is what is called a drishti, and that's a gaze. So as I look at you all, I'm very attentive to what I'm saying, to what I'm doing right now, and that's because I'm focused in one place. If I'm looking around all the time, I start to see different things. The surrounding stimulation causes me then to think about, oh, oops, I forgot to clean that, or do that, or pick up that. So if I can maintain my gaze, sometimes closing my eyes can help me come back to where I am right now, which is talking to you. So with that, I appreciate everyone being here. We'll start to move into the poses, and I'll break it down into some of those common poses that we see. We'll start with a little bit of warm up. We'll work into our hips a little bit. We'll move through some sun salutations. I'll break those down just so you can stay safe. And then we'll finish with some cool down poses. And then we'll end with that guided relaxation. What is called here is what we call in the Western as Shavasana. It's actually Shavasana, that word is an Indian word, it's a Sanskrit word. It's actually a very difficult pose. It just tends to be misused here. So we'll call it a relaxation state. So with that, go ahead and get on your mat if you are not. And if you have a pillow, you can use that, bring it with you. Or if you have blocks. So no need to worry if you don't have a yoga block. There's plenty of hacks for our blocks, a pillow being one. Or if you have your yoga block or two, feel free to have them around you. You may find that they come in handy for some of our poses. If any pose does not feel right for you today, don't worry about it. There's no one that can see. Well, maybe someone can see at home, but no one's judging, no one cares. I'm going to start a little bit of music, and it will be, it'll be relaxing, but it will be just that, maybe enough to bring your attention back if you find that you're starting to wonder what's going on in the rest of your house. So with that, let's start with our legs long. You can bring them hip distance, maybe let your toes fall away from each other. And then from here, just walk your fingertips slightly forward and let your head be heavy. And at this time, if you would like to close your eyes, feel free. Let your shoulders relax. And then breathe through your nose. So close your lips. Let your eyebrows relax. And as you breathe in and out through your nose, you may start to notice the pace of your breath. Maybe noticing the temperature of your breath as it passes over your upper lip. Maybe you're finding that gravity is pulling you a little closer towards your legs. All of your attention right here where you are. It's not an easy thing to do. We have so much going on. Maybe different smells in the room. Maybe the temperature of the room is not quite working for us right now. Just notice all these things. And if you can, continue to breathe through your nose rather than out your mouth. Working to keep our breath into this very calming pace. And inhale, slowly lift yourself up. Bring your hands behind your hips, bend your knees. Bring your knees hip distance, maybe a little wider, and let your knees fall to the right. Bring them back to center, and let your knees fall to the left. So I'll cue an inhale and exhale at certain times. Inhale, bring your knees back to center, and exhale, let your knees fall to the right. We just use our breath. Inhale, come back to center to stay connected. Exhale to the left. Connected to our physical body, to our movement. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the left. We can stay connected to our breath too. Inhale, come back to center. And then let your right ear fall to your shoulder. Just take a stretch into your neck, your head heavy, your right shoulder relaxed. And let your chin fall to your chest. And draw your left ear over to your left shoulder. If you have uncomfortableness into your hips, you can always bring your toes forward a little bit, move your heels away from your sit bones. Let your chin fall to your chest, and roll your neck over to your right shoulder. Let your chin fall to your chest. Draw your ear to your left shoulder. And bring your chin to your chest. And come back to neutral. And then from here, bring your hands by your hips and your left heel by your left hip. As your right heel finds your left knee, we'll move into this shape. Maybe you notice a lot of sensation right away into your hips. And if that happens, then grab your pillow, grab your block, put it underneath your front knee. If you have an injury, listen to your injury. Move away from anything that feels like a shooting sensation. We move away from pain. And sometimes we feel a little discomfort and we can work with that. Because let's face it, things aren't always comfortable. Pause here. Just notice what's happening. Practice. Teaches us when we do feel pain. When we need to listen to our body, maybe give it a little more attention. Push it a little harder, pare it back a little bit. Another benefit of our practice to be here, taking this time today for yourself. And then from here, lower your right knee down so you can bring yourself up. You can use your hands if you would like. Bring yourself up to kneeling. Draw your left knee to your right. And then lower back down. Bring your sit bones down. Both heels are behind you now. And we'll lift back up. You can use your hands, moving into a dynamic movement. Use your lower abdominals, engage that space below your belly button. And then lower back down. Arms can come to a T if that helps with your balance. And inhale, lift up, reach long. Exhale, lower down. Two more like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. And one more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, bring yourself forward so your left hand plants. And find your way into table pose, hands and knees. From table pose, we'll move into a cat-cow movement, working with our breath. So with your shoulders below your palms, fingers spread wide, and your knees below your hips. Inhale, lift your chin. Let your belly sag, arch into your back, shoulders draw back. Exhale, chin to your chest, round your spine. This is cat pose. Inhale, lift your chin, collarbones open. Exhale, chin to your chest, spine rounds, hug your low belly in. Inhale, cow pose, chin lifts, open up. Exhale, cat pose, tailbone tucks, round your spine. And inhale, come back to table pose and neutral spine. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands. So pull it up there, whatever you need to do to bring your foot forward. Place it underneath you. If you have your pillow, maybe you find that your hands come just on top of your foot or surround your foot. Use that. And hold here into this supported lunge. Check out your hips once again. Maybe you find a little movement to the side or front to back is needed into your right hip joint, maybe into your upper left leg. And then from here, we'll move into what can be a favorite pose, a less than favorite pose, an edgy pose for some of us. It's called pigeon. So start to bring your foot to the long edge of your mat. Feel free to tuck it in. If you have an injury or your knee has a bit of restriction as a result of surgery, your heel can tuck in as close as you need, as long as your hips stay square. This can be a good place for a block or your pillow. So if you find that you have a lot of pull going on, or again, your hips are a little bit feeling this edge or this tightness, then put that block underneath your knee or underneath your thigh. Never be pressured to do anything that doesn't work for you, no matter what you see, no matter what the video shows. Working into your body always. And the poses aren't meant to deter. They're not meant to show that we have tightness somewhere else, that we're not as flexible as what we think we should be. Poses are meant so that we can find just a little bit of ease with effort. Maybe a few other things along the way. A couple more breaths here, not too much longer. Notice what happens when you hold into a pose. Does your mind start to wander? Do you look at the clock? Work to stay in tune to your breath if your mind's going elsewhere. And from here, begin to lower all the way down. So come to your right sit bone and bring your left leg around. Swing it around, hug it in first, and then extend it out in front of you. So all these poses have beautiful and sometimes not so beautiful Sanskrit names. It doesn't matter what the pose is called. Just work to be into it, wherever you are. So lengthen your left leg, bring your right foot to your inner thigh as high as you can. You have a lot of sensation again in that knee, and maybe you find it needs to be a little further away from you, or your hips are quite a bit tight. Bring that block underneath your knee. And from here, fold forward. Walk your fingertips forward, catch a bind if you'd like, and begin to intensify into your fold. It's an active forward fold. So you can use your bind to help you draw a little closer towards your extended leg. Your head can be heavy if that helps. Maybe close your eyes and see what happens. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, extend your right leg long. Coming back where we started, just in a different direction. From here, fold forward once again. Let your head be heavy, move to a passive forward fold. Spine rounds. Just notice a change from when you were here last time. And inhale, lift up. Walk your feet towards you so that your knees come to your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give your knees a squeeze. Maybe your forehead falls onto your knees. Pull your belly away from your spine and round your spine. Feel a stretch into your upper back. You may find a stretch into your arms depending on where they are, depending on how far your heels are. Inhale, lift yourself up. Release any bind you may have. And then we'll move to the other side, facing the same direction as we started. So turn in that direction, switching legs. So if you're following me, it would be your left leg in front, working to find that shape with your leg at a 90-degree angle, sorry. And then bring your right heel away from your sit bone. Just check it out on this side. See where you are. If you find your way over onto your left sit bone, bring that pillow in. Press your left palm into your mat, into the floor, and see if you can bring your shoulders a little more above your hips. Just hesitate here. And now bring your left heel inward, starting to move into our dynamic movement with one breath, one movement. But first, see where you are as you lift up to both knees. Draw your right knee into your left. And then move your heels away, lower your sit bones down. Arms can come long if that helps, maybe onto your hips. Or bring them onto the floor as you inhale, lift up, come to standing onto your knees. Exhale, lower down. Hands can lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Maybe noticing a difference on this side. I know there is for me. Inhale, lift up. Using our right side body. And exhale, lower. And one more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower your right hand down and come back to table pose. We'll move through some cat-cows once again. Take an inhale, lift your chin. And exhale, round your spine. Inhale, open up, cow pose, chin lifts. Exhale, cat pose. Roll through your spine, just notice the movement. One more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine in what's table pose. And then step your left foot up between your hands. Pull it up there, bring it up, whatever you need to do. And then check it out on this side. Move front to back, maybe side to side. Maybe noticing an old injury in your left ankle. And then without building a story from it, oh man, that was such a good play. It was totally worth breaking my ankle. And instead, bring yourself back here. Breathe through your nose. And then we'll move to pigeon on this side. You can walk your foot over, or maybe you find as you get into pigeon pose, your heel comes in first, and then you lower your knee down. Lots of variations. Bring your block, your pillow with you if you need a little extra underneath, maybe into your thigh on this side. If you did something different on the other side, that's now over. Don't worry about that. Honor this side. Most important part in pigeon is that your hips are square. And then your foot will follow accordingly. If you find your hips are feeling pretty darn good, then maybe you bring both hands onto your left leg by placing your hand onto your left ankle and one hand onto your left knee or your left thigh. And start to draw it away and open up a little bit more. For some of us, if we fold, we find that this is the most intense variation. You can just see where you are. All depends on your hips, your anatomy, not what anything else is to be said about it. You find you're breathing through your mouth, and that's a signal your body could be saying, whoa, take it back a little bit. What are we doing here? Not so sure on this. It's Wednesday at noon. Or it's Wednesday, it's 9 a.m. It's too early for this stuff. Just see what's happening. And then adjust. Couple more breaths. And then bring as much weight as you can onto your left sit bone. So you can bring your right leg around. Feel free to draw your right knee in first. Bring your hands down. And then extend your right leg. Bring your left heel as high into your inner thigh as you can. It's okay if it's here. And you have your block under your knee. When you're ready, fold forward. Reach for your shin, maybe your ankle. You find you can take your foot on this side. Inhale, lift yourself up. And exhale, extend your left leg long. Bring your knees into your chest. Give them that squeeze once again, as close as they can be. And then lift yourself up. Move your legs off to the side, across your ankles. And roll forward and come to table once again, hands and knees. From table pose, curl your toes under and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. So in downward dog, very common pose, spread your fingers wide and let the weight be even between your heels and your palms. So avoid that extra weight onto your wrist. Maybe shift a little more weight back to your feet. Let your head be heavy. And keep breathing first and foremost. Inhale, lift your heels, come to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, and then walk your feet forward. You may need to come onto your fingertips as you walk your feet towards your hands. Whatever you need to do. Both feet coming to the front of your mat. And fold forward. Bring your hands behind your calves, give them a massage. Let your head be heavy. Check out what's happening in the back sides of your legs. And then let your fingertips come to your mat, the floor. And inhale, rise to stand. Take your time, arms reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down by your side. So when you reach up, and we'll move to our sun salutation, you may find your palms together works for you, or separation into your palms. Both are a great option. Just listen to your shoulders, listen to your neck, and you'll know where to go. Inhale, reach your arms up. Relax your shoulders. Use your exhale to draw your shoulders away. If it works okay on your neck, you can lift your chin. Just know the modifications and variations are just options. They're not meant to cause you confusion. What am I supposed to do? Just tell me what to do. Sometimes that's a nice thing too. You'll know what the answer is. Take another inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Feel as though you're reaching across the room, hinging from your waist. Your fingertips may come down to your shins, or maybe you find that they come a little bit closer towards your mat, or they're right on your mat, so your palms are on your mat. Listen to the backs of your legs. Put a little bend into your knees if you're pulling somewhere. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, press into your shins, bring your shoulders away from your ears, lengthen through the back of your neck. Nice flat back. And breathe. And take an inhale. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need so your hands come to your mat. And from here, step one foot and then the other back. So this may be a push-up, top of a push-up plank for you. It may be your knees come down for you, and that's where you are. Whatever you choose, work to keep that length you created when we were just standing. You had your hands onto your shins. And breathe. As we move into Chaturanga, a very popular pose, just work a little bit on safety first. So as you bend your elbows and you lower halfway down, avoid dumping into your chest, and instead feel as though you're leading with your chest, but keeping the length into the back of your neck. So you may find when you bend your elbows, they go slightly out, and that's okay. You can hug them in, but make sure that rotator cuff is doing okay. If you have injury in your rotator cuff, then listen to what you need. If none of these work for you, then maybe you go right to downward dog. That's an excellent option. If you find Chaturanga is what you need today, then feel free to lower halfway down. Work to keep your elbows by your shoulder, in line with your shoulders. And then lower your knees down. And bring your chest forward. And lift it up. And you're in upward dog. If you're in downward dog, we're going to be there in one more breath. Take an inhale. Exhale to down dog. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up and then back. And adjust your feet. Maybe they come a little closer to you. Think about that weight between your palms and your heels. And then breathe. And bend one knee and then the other. You may feel it in your arms by now. Keep pushing away from the front of your mat. You'll add a little more muscle into this pose. Extra muscles will do the work. Let your hips sway to the right, to the left.
And then come back to center. Inhale, lift your heels, come to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Walk as many steps as you need, or take one big step up to the front of your mat. And inhale, lift halfway. Hands to your shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Feet are rooted as you bring yourself up, open up. Exhale, lower your arms down by your side. Sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Chin can lift, palms can come together. Exhale, hinge at your waist as you fold forward. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to plant your hands. Step your feet back, coming to your variation. If you're in plank or supported plank, use your breath to determine your way to downward dog. Take an inhale. Use your exhale to lower down for chaturanga or lift your hips for down dog. If you're in chaturanga, use your inhale for upward dog. Shoulders slightly over your palms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, come to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, lift your chin, and then take that big step, or take a few steps to get to the front of your mat. And lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Maybe your hands come to your ankles. You intensify this forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Arms reach up, heels are rooted. Exhale, lower your arms down in any way that you feel works just right for you. We're going to add on as we move into a flow. If anything doesn't feel right, then feel free to pause. And I'll continue to give modifications. It'll be a short flow. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Hinging from your waist, feel as though a waterfall is bringing you down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands down so that you can step your left foot back. And lower your back knee down. Into a supported lunge. We've been here before. Now we're going to add on. Uncurl your toes. Bring your right hand to your knee. And your left hand to your knee. This is called supported crescent warrior. Bring your hips forward, slightly down. And this may be enough today. If you'd like a little more, inhale to reach your arms up. Your chin can lift, your palms can come together if that works for you. If neither are working in a different way than what feels favorable, then just go back to wherever you started. Maybe hands on your knees or back here. Chin can lift, your head can fall back. If you want a little more into your low back. Know what's happening into those joints and listen to them. Take an inhale. And exhale. Bend your elbows to field goal arms. And if you still have your hands onto your knees, then drop your shoulders down a little bit more. Maybe bring your hands to the outside of your front knee and draw your shoulder blades to each other so you can open up a little bit more into your chest. Your head can fall back, your field goal arms. Maybe your eyes close and you really challenge your balance. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, fold. Plant your left hand down and let's twist. Inhale, reach your right arm forward, and exhale, bring your fingertips up to the ceiling. You may find that reaching up isn't working on your shoulder, so your right hand comes to your right knee and you use that as leverage to twist. We won't be here long. One more breath. Exhale, lower your right hand down. From here, your right knee can come back to meet your left for table, or you can lift your back knee up and step your right foot back for plank and move through what we call half vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward dog, pull through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your toes, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Lift your chin so you can step or jump even if you'd like to the front of your mat. And lift halfway, create that flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need so your hands come down to your mat or the floor, and step your right foot back. And lower your back knee down, coming to the supported lunge once again. Check it out on this side. Breathe through your nose. Bring your attention back if it's gone anywhere. Then on yourself right here. And now bring your left hand on top of your knee and your right hand to follow. Maybe stay here. When you're ready, and if you're ready, reach your arms up. Find that place for your palms, for your chin. If you'd like a little more, maybe your fingertips come to your forehead and you bring your chin up a little higher. See what works for you, for your back, for your spine. Moving our spine in all degrees today. Rounding, twisting, bending. And take an inhale. And exhale, come to those field goal arms. Your hands are into your knees. And you could even press onto the top of your knee. Start to draw your shoulders away. Open up a little more into your chest, into your collarbones. Open into your heart, just a little more today. Inhale, reach your arms up, supported crescent warrior. Exhale, fold. Bring your right hand on the inside of your front foot. Inhale, reach your left arm forward. And exhale, bring it up towards the ceiling. Chin can follow. You may find keeping your chin neutral is a little better for you. Avoid dropping your head down. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower your left hand down. Make your way to downward dog as you see fit today. From downward facing dog, take an inhale, come to your toes. And exhale, lower your knees, but let them hover about an inch, maybe a little less. If this is not an option for you, then lower your knees all the way down and stay into this table pose. Toes curled under though. Toes floating table, we won't be here too much longer. Take another inhale. And exhale, lower your knees down. Draw your heels to each other. Press away from the front of your hips back and come to child's pose. If you're like, no way, no child's pose, never had, here's your friend. Grab your pillow, grab 2 pillows, grab a blanket, grab a bunch of blocks. See if you can sit back a little bit more. Let those arms reach forward. You can always bring your forehead onto a block as high as you need. Stretch those shoulders. Relieve that tension, that stress. Now come to your fingertips. Let your head stay heavy wherever you have your sit bones, no matter how far back you are. Take a little stretch deeper into your upper back, even into the sides of your arms. And then lower your palms down and bring yourself forward enough so that you can start to come to seated, both legs out long. So find that place, ankles crossed, or move your legs off to the side. And then lower down onto your back. And as you lower down, let your eyes close. Bring your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze, rock side to side. And then lower your feet hip distance. Reach your palms by your sides. We'll move into a gentle bridge, opening into the front part of your legs, the top part of your leg, so your heel's a little closer to you than further away. If your heels are further away, you'll be into your back. Let's stretch the upper part of our legs. So if you find that place for your heels, take an inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your hips up. Palms can stay pressing down, stay open into your chest. Use your mat, the floor, to lift your hips a little higher. And now slowly lower down, take your time. And bring your knees into your chest. One more time, give them a squeeze. Extend your right leg long. Keep your left knee in. With your right hand, guide your knee over to the right. Your left arm could reach long or come to a field ball. Your chin can turn over your left shoulder. Your hip will come up. And bring your knee into your chest, give it a squeeze. Move it in circular motions if that feels good, one direction and then the other. And bring your right knee in. Extend your left leg long and we'll move to the other side. Left hand draws your leg over to the left as your right arm reaches long or comes to a 90-degree bend. And bring your knee back to center. Give it a squeeze. Move it in circular motions, one direction and then the other. And extend your right leg long. And then from here, you may find reaching your heels to the corners of your mat. Gives you a little extra sense of release into your legs. Your hands can come wherever is most comfortable for you. So we come to this resting period, moving into a little guided relaxation. If you find that this isn't working on your low back, grab your pillow or bend your knees. Maybe you put the pillow underneath your low back. If you find that height is too much, bend your knees, and that'll give you some relief. Wherever you are with your legs. Let your shoulders draw away from your ears and start to relax each component of your body. But first, notice. Notice any tightness in your jaw. Unclench your teeth if you are. Release any gripping into your hands or even into your toes or your feet. Notice if your arms are being held up instead of letting everything start to relax. So let your arms be heavy. If you're gripping or holding into your glutes, relax your backside. No longer pull up your kneecaps. Maybe starting to feel a little heavier but lighter at the same time. Keep breathing through your nose. And stay right here. A few more breaths. And now bring your legs together, toes find each other. Take an inhale as you reach your arms over your head. Take a big stretch and exhale, release the air. And then one more time. Inhale through your nose and open your mouth. Exhale the air out. And bring your knees inward. Give them one more squeeze. Maybe lift up. Draw your nose towards your knees. Appreciating your entire body, what it's given you today. And what you've given it by being here. And then roll to one side, the right or left. So you can press into the floor, into your mat to lift yourself up. And come back to a comfortable seated position, whatever that may be. Legs can be long. Maybe you find some crossed ankles. And then we end yoga practice with one word that simply means I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can chat them, or you can unmute yourself and just feel free to ask a question. Front body, and Pilates is very back body, so very much hamstrings, glutes. Both are good for the lower abdominals. Sometimes what we would call the core. Definition of core varies, of course, depending on, I think, your field. But Pilates is very technical and about alignment, and Pilates also is good for a mind-body connection. It is a lot more directive, whereas yoga tends to let our own self lead, whereas I'm very much leading you in Pilates. So they go really, really well together. Hamstrings, Bill, yeah. Yeah, strengthening the hamstrings and the glutes. Those two, because we tend to be so front body attentive, whether it is from some of our other exercises or it is simply from walking. The backside is one that gets, especially the hamstrings. Again, they tend to be a little challenging to strengthen. So Pilates does a lot of that back.
that backside work. And we do it on the mat. There's also apparatus that are involved, but it's not necessary. There are plenty of exercises on the mat.
Any other questions for Rhonda?
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate having you and letting me join you today. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, I just want to extend a thank you, Rhonda, for this. This was wonderful. Very much appreciate it. And like others said, it was perfect timing for me and very much needed it. So thank you for being willing to share with all of us.
Thank you, John.
Okay, everyone, thanks for being here. And we will look forward to our next session. We're good in the works on trying to plan some other Tartan Talks. We may try and go more frequently than once a month with some additional assistant events geared towards our stay-at-home experience and the COVID-19. Thanks again.